Basketball All-Americans, and this Blue Ribbon Galaxy represents every corner of America. From Tucson, Arizona to Byfield, Massachusetts, from Carroll City, Florida to Mercer's Island, Washington. They come from the cities, Baltimore, Chicago, Philadelphia, and Houston, and from the hinterlands, Carlisle, Decatur, Dublin, and Woodstock. They form the dream team of 1985, the talent to shape the future of college basketball. From the Moody Coliseum on the campus of SMU in Dallas, Texas, welcome to the 8th annual McDonald's All-America Game. Brought to you by McDonald's. It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's. Welcome, everyone, to this great classic here in Texas. We're delighted you could join us on ESPN to see the All-Americans of the future, the players who will tip the balance of college basketball in the coming years. I'm Jim Thacker, and with me is Dick Vitale. Dick, tell us about the concept and the importance of this game.
Jim, right now we're going to have really what I call showtime. It's going to be primetime performers at their best. These kids have earned the right to be America's premier players. It's sort of a preview for them to preview the kind of competition they will face when they go on to the major college level. Also, you got a lot of pride at stake, but basically I think it's for the enjoyment of the fans. One-on-one ability, I can't wait. It will be showtime at its best.
That was some great talent, we admire that, Dick. It's going to be a great evening of basketball. Also joining us is Bucky Waters. Bucky, we've seen several of these games. It has certainly a great history already.
Yeah, the alumni list from this game, the 7 previous ones, is awesome. The talent, people like Magic Johnson, Ralph Sampson, Patrick Ewing, all served notice in this game that their stardom was no dream. Before Raleigh Massimino had the first drag on his victory cigar following that NCAA championship, the rest of the basketball world said, wait till next year. This is the first night of optimism for the rest of the basketball world. The talent here, sensational. And the big ones, the great ones, have done it here in this game.
Well, who knows what that team will gain from this collection. There's already been one prediction here that at least 2 of these players will appear back in Dallas in 1 year at the NCAA Final Four. We'll meet all of the 1985 McDonald All-Americans in just a moment. 1985 All-Americans on the McDonald team. Here's my cohort to introduce them, Dick Vitale.
Now for the McDonald's All-American High School basketball team. For the East squad, number 25, 6'6", from out of Governor Dummer Academy, Byfield, Massachusetts, Steve Bucknall, a premier passer. New England's Player of the Year, will wear Dean Smith's North Carolina uniform. Also for the East squad, number 31, 6'9", from out of Paul L. Dunbar High School, Baltimore, Maryland, Terry Dozier. Ultra quick, a finesse player, has a great shot, and will be in the uniform of South Carolina or the University of Miami. Also for the East, number 42, 6'9", from out of Savannah High School, Savannah, Georgia, Pervis Ellison, a Sam Perkins lookalike. He's a right-handed player, an outstanding talent. Also for the East, number 35, 6'10". He's from DeMatha High School, Hyattsville, Maryland, Danny Ferry. Parade High School's premier player, will play for Mike Krzyzewski and Duke University. Also for the East, number 21, 6'8", from out of Crestview High School, Crestview, Florida, Tom Hammonds, a prototype power forward, an absolute super athlete. And for the East, number 32, from out of Central High School, Woodstock, Virginia, Walker Lambiotte. Jimmy Valvano smiling, they'll love him in Raleigh, a real winner, Mr. Lambiotte. And also for the East, number 14, 6'2½", from Carlisle High School, Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Morgan Wooten of DeMatha says the greatest guard he's ever seen, Jeff Lebo, who will play for Dean Smith in North Carolina. Also for the East, number 22, 6'6", Mr. Consistency himself, from Robert E. Lee High School, Stanton, Virginia, Kevin Madden. Yes, he will wear the Carolina blue as well. And for the East, number 5, from Pulaski High School, Dublin, Virginia, Michael Porter. Virginia Tech's Mr. Excitement will team with Del Curry for an outstanding backcourt. And for the East, number 55, from Roman Catholic High School, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Mark Stevenson. An absolute scoring machine. They will love him out at South Bend, Indiana, for the Fighting Irish. And for the East, number 30, from Miami Carroll City High School, Carroll City, Florida, Irvin Thomas. Yes, Eddie Sutton has a winner in this Space Eater, a powerful force on the interior. And for the East, number 54, from Cardinal Gibbons High School, Baltimore, Maryland, Rodney Walker. Jimmy Boeheim will love him as he will team with the great Pearl Washington for the Syracuse University Orangemen. And now for the McDonald's All-American High School basketball team, we look at the West squad, a squad that has great size but lacks the ultra quickness of the East. We will have power against finesse as these two teams hook up. And for the West, we look at the lineup with number 23, 6'6", from Withrow High School, Cincinnati, Ohio, Rick Calloway, a defensive demon. Bobby Knight has a class act on the court and off in Mr. Calloway. And also for the West squad, number 10, from Cholla High School, Tucson, Arizona, Sean Elliott, an outstanding swingman, 32 points a game. Lute Olson will love him in the Arizona uniform. And for the West, number 45, from Providence St. Mel High School, Chicago, Illinois, Lowell Hamilton, a jumping jack who plays above the rim, a Skywalker, Mr. Illinois. And also for the West, number 34, 7'1", from Marion Christian High School, Houston, Texas, Tito Horford. Tito is a keen to dream coming alive out at the University of Houston. And for the West, number 24, from Lanphier High School, Springfield, Illinois, Ed Horton. Get ready to meet another Bernard King of the University of Tennessee as George Raveling has a dandy. And looking at the West also, number 33, from Belmont High School, Decatur, Illinois, Kip Jones. Indiana Jones, an adventure on the hardwood. This kid can flat out score. Purdue will love him. And also for the West, number 44, from Seneca High School, Louisville, Kentucky, Tony Kimbro, a fluid, graceful thoroughbred. Denny Crum has got a bona fide All-American. And also for the West, number 30, from St. Vincent St. Mary High School, Akron, Ohio, Jerome Lane. This multi-dimensional act said, I will play for the University of Pittsburgh, and Dr. Roy Chipman had a smile a mile long. And for the West, number 32, from Mater Dei High School, Santa Ana, California, Tom Lewis, a scoring machine. Will it be Nevada, Las Vegas, or Syracuse? And for the West, number 21, from out of Beecher High School, Flint, Michigan, Roy Marble, a dunking machine. He will have them jumping with joy at the University of Iowa. And for the West, we have number 25, from Ben Franklin Boys High School, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Get ready to meet Jerome Pooh Richardson. UCLA will love this guy, a bona fide starter and an impact player immediately. And for the West, number 50, from Carnes High School, Knoxville, Tennessee, Doug Roth. He decided to stay home, and Don DeVos got him a low-post demon, as this guy can play. And also for the West, number 3, from Mercer Island High School, Mercer Island, Washington, an absolute creator, innovator, penetrator, an academic All-American, Quin Snyder, as well as a high school All-American. That is your version of the McDonald's All-American high school basketball team.
And a superb array of talent it is. Dick, the head coaches for this game. There for the East is Ed Kirshner from Osceola High School in Kissimmee, Florida. And Bill Green, there he is, from Marion High School, Marion, Indiana, just won his 4th Indiana High School championship, will be the head coach for the West. And will be set to go. The East will be dressed in the blue, and the West will be wearing the home white. Paul Galvan, one of the 3 officials in the Southwest Conference, along with Mike Tanco and Lynn Shortnessy, will get this game underway. Tito Horford, one of the most looked at big men in the country, with the tip, and he's taken over to the white-clad West team. And Horton starts to play down the left side. Now they set it up. It'll be man-to-man defense. That's the special rules of this game. No zones allowed. They'll play 6 minutes, and then another 5 will come in. Dick, you'll see a lot of individual one-on-one play here.
They're playing Jerome Lane out at the point, Jim, the kid that's going to Pittsburgh.
And Horton inside, and it's tipped in. That was the point guard, Jerome Lane, on the tip in, headed for Pittsburgh, and it's 2-0 in favor of the West.
Lane's an outstanding offensive rebounder. He really has a nose for attacking the glass.
Now Pooh Richardson, outstanding point guard. Some say he's as good or maybe even better than Jeff Lebo, and that, of course, is sacrilege up around Carlisle, Pennsylvania. They tried to lob it in to the big guy, Ferry, picked off by Ed Horton, and is he going to be a great player in Iowa?
Horton's got a great release along the baseline, an outstanding shooter.
Here's Horton again from the side. A good inside rebound by Tom Hammonds for the East team from Crestview, Florida.
He's a prototype power forward, Jim. He's a real banger on the glass, Mr. Hammonds.
He's going to play great for it. Down at Georgia Tech, a block on the inside, and that was by Calloway, the defensive specialist you talked about, Dick Vitale, and there was an example.
He's an outstanding defensive player who has a nose for the ball. He was the MVP in the All-American game out of Washington, D.C. Bobby Knight's got himself an absolute superb athlete in Mr. Calloway.
This game is played at 12-minute quarters. These first two fives will play 6 minutes. Then the second fives will be brought in. A steal almost by Ferry. Horford scoops it up. And there goes Tito, the new Akeem. 4-0. On the transition, Stevenson, and Horford is there to clean the glass at the other end.
Jim, I like Tito Horford. A lot of people think he's a year away, but to me, you can't teach 7 feet, and he's got a fantastic attitude.
Boy, these are big guards for the West team. Just saw Lane inside to Kip Jones and stuffed in by Horford. Hey. Oh, has he been hot? Look out, Guy Lewis, you're getting off Jim.
Hey, Tito Horford's not wasting any time. He's saying, I might be ready immediately.
4 of the 6 points by Tito Horford. They set his screen on the outside. Richardson tried to dump it into Ferry. Good switch on the inside defensively.
They're trying to play a structured half-court offense right now, Jim. It'll be a matter of time. You'll see them running and going up and down the floor.
There goes Stevenson up over Horford. He made him change his arc. Rebound down by Lane. Gets it up mid-court to Calloway.
Lane's a versatile athlete. Can rebound, pass.
Oh, rebound off by Hammonds. And there's the guy again that'll be wearing the Georgia Tech gold and black. On the fast break, Stevenson takes it strong. And this time he's blocked and fouled by Calloway.
Mark Stevenson from out of Roman Catholic High School in Philadelphia, going to Notre Dame. He just has a knack for scoring. He's been a tremendous scorer throughout his career on a high school level, and he will score, especially playing with David Rivers out of Notre Dame out in the break and transition.
Well, he played the front line in high school for Roman Catholic High. They won 25 and lost 6 for Barry Brodzinski. But Digger Phelps, as you say, plans to use him at the number 2 guard, and that'll be a good backcourt.
Well, he's going to have to beat out a kid by the name of Hicks, who played last year. He's certainly not going to automatically step on the Fighting Irish campus and win a starting job. But all indications are that this kid is an intense competitor and a very, very heady player.
Where Horford pulls down yet another rebound. 6-0 in favor of the West. There's the alley-oop lob down. They tried to get it to Calloway. Back comes Richardson on the 3-2 break. Beats the Bucknall and tipped up and out. And the East has been snake-bitten so far. Lane behind his back to Indiana Jones. Taken away by Richardson. Back this way for the East. Good pass over to Ferry. Gives it inside to Stevenson. And finally, the East has scored.
Jim, just a matter of time before they get the transition game going, especially with an operator out at the point like Pooh Richardson. Utilizes great judgment in transition. Hey, he will start from day one out on the UCLA campus.
Great drive by Horton. And Horton, a great player from Illinois, who looked like he was going to play for the Illini till the last minute, and he changed over to Iowa. Here's Bucknall from Massachusetts. Kip Jones has the rebound now for the West. You'll see some double teaming. Drive by Calloway to the inside. Got his own rebound and scored. No. Tipped up once and he's got it. Calloway, that shows you persistence pays off.
Well, he's a quick athlete. He has that great bounce off the floor. So many of the guys playing today, Jim, those 6'6" and 6'7s that are on the floor here tonight are what we call guys with more bounce to the ounce. They really bounce off the floor.
He's had a tough time getting on track. Pooh Richardson trying to get something going inside, but the West in a sagging defense, they've not allowed them to get that ball inside so far. Bucknall gets it now to Hammonds. Good spin by Hammonds up over Jones, and then it's tipped outside the lane.
I look for Hammonds to step in immediately in the starting lineup for Georgia Tech. With Joseph now graduating, they'll probably move John Sally into the lane and play Hammonds at the power forward slot.
I think Sally will be a great center too, Dick. I think that's a good move. Jones scores for the West, and now the West has got its biggest lead. 12-2, 10-point lead in the first quarter. But all the West stars so far. Richardson. And I'll tell you this, the West's most explosive combination may yet to be on the floor. Kip Jones keeps battling those boards. Here's a breakaway. Here comes Lane on the break for the shot.
Oh, Jerome Lane, slam, jam, bam. They're going to love him at the University of Pittsburgh. They'll be selling some tickets there, Jim, with this kid combining with Charlie Smith. Roy Chipman's going to have a dynamite tandem.
Well, they want a timeout for the East with 7 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the first quarter, and a crowd of close to 9,000 here at the Moody Coliseum. We'll be right back. It's been all West. Horton hurt hard by injury. Both Jeff Lebo and Kevin Madden, ironically, both going to North Carolina, but they've been injured, and think that's hurting their backcourt.
They're not really doing a good job in transition defensively, Jim, getting back to neutralize the running game right now, because the West team is really getting the ball out and blowing up the floor. You know, it's interesting. Bill Green, who's coached and won 4 state championships in Indiana, had 2 unbeaten years. The only guy to do that and winning 2 championships. The kid Kip Jones scored 43 and 20 rebounds against his team in high school. He says, I'm glad having him on my side tonight.
Stevenson beat his man, couldn't get the shot ahead. Horton leads the break, stolen by Pooh Richardson. It was 3-on-1. The little guy stopped it. He's back 3-on-1 of his own. Drops it off to Hammonds for the stop.
What tremendous judgment right there. That's why Walt Hazard will install him immediately. Hey, Jim, he will begin the day he steps off the plane. They'll hand the ball to Richardson and say, the show is yours for the next 4 years.
14-4. That was a great fast break. Oh, what a pass over to Calloway, and he's got the basket.
Calloway shoots the jumper from the wing. Not what you would call a great perimeter shooter, but just a solid athlete.
Danny Ferry cut off in the corner. Play for the great DeNapa team. Ferry gets inside, draws the foul on Horton. That's what he's
been moved inside, draws the contact, and now goes to the line. Parade High School All-American, also premier player in the nation by Parade, has a great shooting touch.
Dick, I think the great thing about him is his versatility. He just does everything very well.
Well, he can play inside, outside. He also is very, very aware on the floor as to what's happening. Got great court set.
Lane a little out of control. Rebound pulled down by Perry. And Lane's fouled in C. And little Quin Snyder from out Washington. They'll be coming on short. Rebound Horton on the stop. Horford, Tito Horford, 6 points for the West team, and he's fouled on the play.
Tito Horford is definitely a major factor inside. It's amazing when you look at his numbers, Jim. In high school, he averaged 14 points a game, 12 rebounds a game, and he's just learning how to play the game. He came from the Dominican Republic. He hasn't been here that long, and I know Guy V. Lewis has got to be mighty happy to have this guy going to wear the Houston uniform.
Great point play, 7 points total for Horford, plus 3 rebounds, and that's a great start for this new Akeem. 19-5, about 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. There goes Richardson on the follow inside. Stevenson scores, and that'll bring on the change of the lineup. So Stevenson cuts the lead down to 12 points at 19-7. Coming up will be a change of lineups. We'll set those for you in just a moment. Timeout on the court, the score. The West 19, the East 7, and the McDonald's all for the East. I'll be coming in with forwards Irving Thomas of Florida and Terry Dozier of Dunbar in Washington or in Baltimore. Pervis Ellison will be the center out of Savannah. Guards Michael Porter. It's an exciting unfair hitting for Virginia Tech and Walker Lambiotte. Ticketed for North Carolina State. For the West, they'll have forwards Lowell, Hamilton, and Tony Kimbro. What a pair from Chicago and Louisville. Doug Roth at center. He's going to be playing down in Tennessee. And the backcourt, Quin Snyder, point guard, and Roy Marble, number 2. That's for the white-clad West team.
You're going to love Roy Marble. He's a dunking machine. He's going to really excite those people out in Iowa universities from out of Flint, Michigan. Unfortunately, a kid from Flint's not here today, Jim, who I think might be one of the top 5 in the United States. A kid by the name of Glenn Rice, a 6'7" shooter who's like automatic every time he touches the ball. He's got his choices down right now to Michigan or Minnesota, and he is just an outstanding athlete as well.
Inside, Kimbro partially blocked, and now let's see if this new East team can pick it up a little bit. Irving Thomas has the rebound, and here comes the exciting little Michael Porter. From Dublin, Virginia.
He's Mr. Excitement with the basketball. 360 spins. He's trying to play the point guard slot, and he's basically a scorer.
5'11", got a 41-inch vertical jump. Tip of the inside. Ellison on the follow, and now down is Roth. And the West has got a breakaway here. Coming good pass by Hamilton for the layup, and he is fouled on the play by Lambiotte.
Lowell Hamilton preseason was on everybody's Scholastic High School All-American team, number 45. He's an explosive leaper, Jim. Some of the game that he still has to work on is handling the basketball, putting it to the floor, but he's got the great legs. He's a skywalker. He really bounces off the floor with tremendous explosiveness.
They say he's a Dr. J clone, and we'll see about that. That's saying a lot. Headed for Illinois. That's a very talented laden team that Lou Henson has up at Champaign-Urbana.
I spoke at the Illinois banquet just the other day, and they got everybody basically returning, especially across the front line. I think he'll come off the bench with Ephraim Winters returning, Kenny Norman, and also you think about Anthony Welsh. Hey, look for Illinois. They got to be preseason top 5 in the nation.
21-7 on the West in a rout so far. 14-point lead. They don't need a clock in these games the way these young stars play. They really go at it. They play strictly man-to-man. Dozier from the outside for Baltimore, and rebound tipped out by Lambiotte. Now here's Quin Snyder's pass. Is tipped down here by Porter. That saves the break. Kimbro on the drive, and the inside. There's Marble going to action, and tipped outside by Big Roth for Tennessee, and tipped in by Kimbro, and a foul on the play. I think on Pervis Ellison. Well, what a flurry by the West that time on the boards.
Kimbro really attacks the glass. They're going to love him out at Louisville. He's from out of Seneca High School, the same high school that produced a great Louisville superstar, Wes Unseld.
You're so right. Here's Lowell Hamilton again. A thoroughbred athlete, tremendously exciting and explosive, gets a 3-point play. So very quickly, Lowell Hamilton's picked up 5 points in the second quarter, and it's 24-7. The West by 17 points. Boy, he's got a long way to come back.
Well, they got to stop the running game of the West, and they got to get a little better balance defensively in getting back on transition.
Good fake by Porter. Gets up for that jump shot. There's what the little guy can do. He plays well above his 5'11" frame.
Scored over 2,000 points in high school, and he will play for Charlie Moyer out of Virginia Tech, and they got a great guard back there in Del Curry.
Here comes Marble, and a nice rebound ripped off inside by Irving Thomas, and I think Eddie Sutton's going to like that aggressive play when he goes to Kentucky. Here's Dozier out of the corner from Baltimore Dunbar. Rebound Hamilton out to Quin Snyder. Good bounce pass down to Roth on the fast break, and I think he walked. Big guy tried to pick it up like a shortstop.
Schneider, Jim, you mentioned the big guy trying to show his hands, getting down to the floor, Doug Roth. But, you know, you talk about Schneider in the backcourt. He'll be a good complementary player with Tommy Amica and also Johnny Dawkins returning for Duke. And they add Danny Ferry to their front line. Again, you got to talk about Duke in the top 5 in the United States.
Well, I think you're right. Allery's coming back, and, of course, Henderson coming off the bench. They've got a lot of talent. Out of bounds. It'll go now again to the West.
You know, we'll put some pressure on a guy by the name of Bill Frieder. I think Michigan preseason has to be #1 in the nation, with North Carolina #2. Talk about Georgia Tech maybe #3, Illinois #4, and Duke #5.
Well, they're all going to be great teams. I like Georgia Tech a little higher than that maybe if they finish the recruiting the way it's headed right now.
Well, Cremens was at breakfast with me today, and he said, please tell Thacker to forget it. Put us down at #20. I don't want to be in the top 5.
24-9. He'll never see 20 again, not for a while. Here's Hamilton at the line until Ben Wilson was tragically killed this year. Hamilton had to play sort of a secondary role in Chicago area, but after Wilson's death, Hamilton became the premier player in the Windy City. That's why all the players wearing black armbands here in memory of Ben Wilson.
That was really so unfortunate because many people feel that Ben Wilson was the premier, #1 in the United States of America. He had all the parts.
Look out, here comes Hamilton. Hamilton's been a house of fire, hasn't he? That's 12 points so far.
He just seems to have that awareness of the basket. That time he demonstrated he did put the ball on the floor.
27-9. Correction, not 12. He got 8 points. Dozier shot blocked. Hamilton with a rebound. Boy, the West is playing Kimbro beautifully. Off Roth's fingertips. Marble picks it up for the West. So here comes Roy Marble. Headed for Iowa to get it to Snyder. Lob inside to Roth, and he's blocked and fouled. That's a great effort in there by Irving Thomas. Going to be a personal foul, the 3rd this quarter against the East team. And let's make one other rule note. The 1-and-1 free throwing in this All-Star game begins with the 10th personal foul of each half, not the 7th.
I think Doug Roth, Jim, is going to be a solid player for Don DeVoe. Good inside power player. He's been very impressive during the workouts. You know, it's an amazing thing. I lost my eye as a youngster, and I was talking to Roth, and he's blind in his right eye right now, the young man that's shooting the free throw.
Well, I think he's one of the best centers coming into college basketball next year, and he's certainly going to help DeVoe, who's long suffered without having a great center. Looks like he's coming, 28-9.
And Don DeVoe's a great teacher, so you know he's going to develop him with all kinds of moves inside, drop steps, post moves. He's got a body to work with, and I know he's going to be an excited guy down in Knoxville.
They picked up the foul here on Tony Kimbro. It just indicated that he'll probably play for Louisville, although I don't think that's been signed yet, from Seneca High School. Now the East. Lambiotte's left hand from the corner, and Jimmy Valvano take note.
He's a pure shooter. He's got the velvet touch, a competitor. Hey, he's made it a mold of John Havlicek. He will dive on the floor, play with tremendous intensity.
Snyder sets up, looks great block by Ellison, the long arm. Inside Kimbro, and now pulled down again by Thomas. And here comes Lambiotte racing against that. Lambiotte takes it in.
Lambiotte with good balance, an outstanding high school player in Virginia.
Now the steal by Lambiotte. He's taking charge here for the East team.
And Valvano says, I love it.
Ellison out of the corner. Rebound Porter. Little guy up among the trees to score.
Great play by Porter. A little jump hook in the lane at 5'11". Oh, they're going to love him down at Virginia Tech.
And the lead's gone from a 19-point last week down to 13. 28-15. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Marvel's penetration to Roth. A little out of his range. Snyder isn't. Or is he? Rebound. Thomas and Lambiotte almost broken up, but they tip it down to Dozier. Reverse layup for the foul. Didn't get the basket, but draws the personal.
Terry Dozier, an outstanding student from out of Dunbar High School. Bob Wade's great high school basketball team in Baltimore, Maryland. He also has a brother at 6'11", also an outstanding potential athlete. As we watch Terry Dozier, he's very fluid, very graceful. 6'9", got tremendous agility, and it looks like it'll be South Carolina or the University of Miami with them leaning strongly toward South Carolina.
Well, let's say, Dick, that he's going to play for Bill Foster. Is that safe?
That's safe to say. You know, his brother's also going to go with him as well. They're going to go in a package deal, and they think his brother has a lot of potential at 6'11", but isn't as ready as Terry is right now. His brother's name is Perry.
I love the way this kid runs the court, like a greyhound.
Oh, he's a greyhound. He's a gazelle. I loved him during the workouts, Jim.
28-17 coming down the end of the first quarter. Minute 40 seconds to go. West has led from the very outset by as much as 19 points. Right now they're up by 11. Kimbro inside, and Roth had a little trouble handling that pass. It was not a good pass. It's thrown a little bit down around his knees.
We haven't seen the real Kimbro yet. He has been so far in all the workouts one of the most devastating players as we look at Coach Kirshner from out of Florida.
Won 382 games. Oh, blown, easy one. That could give the East a little help. Here goes Lambiotte down the middle. As he sparked this East team.
The ACC is going to love Lambiotte. They get Lambiotte, Jeff Lebo, Danny Ferry, Jerry Pryor at Clemson.
Tell you something else about Lambiotte. His grade average is 95 plus.
1,200 college boards.
Marble all the way under, and now the East going to get a chance to pull up again. Maybe. Nope, intercepted inside by Kimbro for an easy one.
Good baseline move by Kimbro. I'll tell you, Jim, he's going to be a major factor with Louisville. Look for Louisville to get back in the hunt, especially if they sign Ellison, which all indications are that they're leading on Ellison.
Down goes Thomas, tries to give a drop pass, gets it right back to score, and draws the foul. Irving Thomas, soon to wear that same blue, but for Kentucky. Ed Kirshner right there, 382 wins. At Kissimmee, Florida, he's averaged 24 wins a year there.
He coached Frankie Ford, who's playing for Auburn, and Sonny Smith, an outstanding backcourt performer. This young man with a really good power move inside. He should play a lot immediately at Kentucky also to give him some rebounding power on the interior.
30-21, 9-point lead for as much as 19. Lewis a little out of control. They may have charged. He did. Tom Lewis came in a moment ago to replace Lowell Hamilton, as though Bill Green was having a little pity on Kirshner and got Hamilton out of there, who was really tearing them up.
Tommy Lewis, an outstanding scorer, fourth in the history of California high school basketball, hasn't decided. It's either Syracuse or Nevada, Las Vegas.
Here comes Porter looking for the screen. Dozier from the perimeter. Rebound Thomas, taken away by Marble, but he lost it out. East gets another chance. 18 seconds to go in the quarter.
You can really appreciate these kids when you watch them work on a regular basis, Jim. We were watching the great show that Marble and Horton were putting on, and so far tonight we haven't seen it, but Iowa and George Raveling got two great ones.
Well, they get it inside to Dozier, and he is fouled in there by Kimbro. I think they're trying to get that ball to Lambiotte, who with Porter has led this comeback here for East. In the second half of the first quarter, they cut the lead from 19 to 9.
Lambiotte's got that great touch. I believe he'll be an outstanding three-man on a collegiate level. And if you look at North Carolina State, everybody's talking in the ACC. Got to talk Georgia Tech, North Carolina, and certainly Duke. But North Carolina State, if they line up with Chris Washburn in the paint, they go at the small forward with Walker Lambiotte, Russell Pierre, and they're just signing a host of players. Tommy Abatamarco, Ray Martin, and Jimmy Valvano, the closer.
Well, Shackelford's coming in. They've had a great recruiting year, no question about that. And there's Bill Green, Marion, Indiana, which has been a hotbed for college basketball. As Dick mentioned, had his second undefeated team, winning his 4th state title this year. A good entry pass to Roth, who rolls out. Rebound inside by Lewis, and no, got it again. And there's the end of the quarter. So we've come to the end of the first quarter here at SMU's Moody Coliseum in the Big D, Dallas, Texas. It's the McDonald's All-America game, and the score is the West All-Americans 30, the East. So Bucknall finally finds the range for the East team, and the East has cut it to 4 after trailing by 19.
Just like an NBA game, Jim, the early spurt doesn't really mean much because you got plenty of time, especially at the pace.
Now they go to Horford inside, little strong. Rebound is down to Ferry. Breakaway here by Stevenson, coming in on Calloway. Good fake by Stevenson.
That's some of the basketball you'll see in an all-star game. You'll see a lot of 2-on-1s, 3-on-0s, nobody rotating back. Everybody really, you get a little concerned with, you want to show everybody you're a great one-on-one player.
Well, there goes Calloway out, just out of control, but Horford makes up for it on the inside. It's now 32-28.
Tito demonstrating tremendous power.
Danny Ferry spins in there, and a goaltending on Horford. So I think that basket might have gone, too.
Danny Ferry's fundamentally solid. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to be an instant contributor and an outstanding performer for Mike Krzyzewski's Duke team. He will fit in perfectly. However, Jim, they still lack that shot blocker and that dominator on their front line because Danny is not that kind of player.
Well, there have been championship teams who didn't have that, Dick, so maybe it could happen. Here goes Calloway out of the corner now for the West. Rick Calloway, Indiana bound from Cincinnati Withrow High School. His dad's been here with him all week. Having a great time.
What a class act. He demonstrated that at the banquet when he took the microphone and he wanted to thank everybody for all of their generosity.
Pooh Richardson basket again gets the East within 2. It's 34-32. This is the same team that trailed by 19 points early in the first quarter, or rather late in the first quarter.
I really like Richardson. I think he's going to be a great point guard on a collegiate level.
Ball rebound, Hammonds gets it out to Stevenson. Stevenson breaking down the tie of the score, and no foul on the play. Back the other way now comes Jerome Lane.
See, Jerome's playing the point guard right now, a la Magic Johnson. He's got a lot of shtick in him, Jim, a lot of showtime, a lot of showbiz, but I really believe he will be much more comfortable playing the wing position.
Well, that was the second straight pass he's thrown, Dick, that was too hard to handle. 34-32. East can tie it up. Pooh Richardson out of Philadelphia. Bucknall hit his last shot. Can he tie it? Yes, sir, Dean Smith. He does just that.
He will fit in with Dean Smith's basketball team because he's a premier passer. He's an outstanding passer, and in the kind of motion game they play at North Carolina, I look for Bucknall to contribute coming off the bench.
Dick, the West led 12-2 at the outset. This is the first time the East has been even. With 9 minutes to go in the first half, it's now 34-all.
I'm going to be a real Scrooge right here. You know, Jim, scoring and winning right now is secondary to the kind of spectacular play that we're watching.
Pooh Richardson takes it right inside.
Oh!
By Hammonds.
Oh!
Bobby Hammonds. Are you watching, Bobby Crimmins? Boy, this kid can play.
He's a prototype power forward. He's a powerful force from out of Crestview, Florida.
First time the East has led, 36-34. 8:51 to go in the first half. Now the West going to come from behind. They go right inside to Horton. Rebound by Danny Ferry.
Getting good position inside.
They got the transition going now. Stevenson to Ferry for the layup.
Danny Ferry rebounds, Jim, on one side of the floor, and then he's the trailer in transition up for the layup.
And now the West wants a timeout, so Bill Green, who had things going his way for a while, now suddenly finds his team down by 4 with 8.5 minutes to go in the first half. We'll be right back with the score of the East, 38. Local child charities and the Ronald McDonald Houses of Dallas and Fort Worth will benefit this year, 1985. After more than $325,000 has been raised for Ronald McDonald Houses, for childhood cancer research, for sickle cell anemia research, and what have you. Great cause, Dick.
John Wooden did a great job at the banquet, also talking to the young men here about giving back something to people that have been so good to them. And he talked about the charity, and that's why he got involved in the game itself.
And Horton on the perimeter, a little bit off. Rebound Ferry on the inside, taken away by Calloway for a score. Good aggressive play by Rick Calloway.
You got to like Rick Calloway. I can see why Bobby Knight loves the kid. He'll give him some quickness at Indiana, something they lacked last year, Jim.
Well, they give him a good big second guard who can score and play defense. Ball is kicked down here. It'll be still the East ball. Dick, this game was first played in 1978, and I got to say the game that was played in my hometown of Charlotte, North Carolina had the greatest class, and I want to talk about that a little bit more later. What a year that was, 1979. Inside, Ferry had great position, and the ball's tipped out.
That's why he's such a solid player. He knew how to establish position inside, and if he were within a team concept where they work every day, that ball would have been right on the money for a layup inside.
And the Hammonds thought he drew the foul. Rebound Horford. And he walks. That's a turnover right back to the East.
Tito's just got to learn how to play the game. It's just going to be a matter of time before stardom comes his way. And he's such a beautiful kid. I was talking to him in the elevator. I said, just be patient. It's going to happen for you. He wants it to happen immediately.
Well, I tell you, Horton and Ferry are really pushing off in there. They got a 5-second call on that foul. Did not get it in bounds in time. Aren't many special rules in this game. One is you play no zones. 2, you're allowed 6 fouls each. And 3, the bonus doesn't start until the 10th foul.
And another rule is when in doubt, shoot it.
Also, you can press anytime you like. Ed Horton, reverse. Ed Horton on the reverse layup scores for the West. His 4th point. 38-38 tie for the second time. Here comes, gets away from Hammonds, and Calloway's got it and lost it right off his thigh and out of bounds. We're tied now for only the second time.
Ed Horton was Mr. Illinois in high school basketball, and in Illinois they had some great scholastic stars this year. A great kid going out to Purdue University from out of Mount Carmel. McCants, also an outstanding player, and of course Lowell Hamilton.
Interesting story about Horton because he was definitely headed for Ferry. Horton, he got possession.
Well, screen and roll, Jim. A simple, old-fashioned play. He learned that from his papa. Bob Ferry, the general manager of the Washington Bullets, is here. He just came from Hawaii where he was scouting.
Well, it's a great place. He has a brother who started for Harvard for 3 years. 40-38. The East now is in the lead. Richardson's pass deflected. Pulled down by Kip Jones. And now Tito Horford gets it rolling. Nice pass to Horton on the break.
Ed Horton's going to put on big numbers out at Iowa University. You know, the reason he didn't want to go to Illinois, they told him that they would have to redshirt him for a year. He says, hey, redshirt, I'm ready to play today.
Well, here's the rest of that story. He was going to go to Purdue after that until his old classmate Gamble came out of junior college to Iowa. And what a break that was for George Rattling because he got a double bonus. Inside, Ferry fouled on the play by Horford.
Danny Ferry, you know, not a kind of player that's going to rise above the backboard like so many guys with the bounce off the floor, but it's going to get that solid position, and he has the great touch as a shooter. Here he is inside with a little pump fake, draws the contact, goes down to the deck. Morgan Wooten said this year he just carried that team. He was the only returning player, and they lost 2 games all year long.
Well, when you carry DeMatha Academy in Hyattsville, you're carrying something. They've won 5 national championships. This year they were 31-3. And they were the team, remember, that beat Lou Alcindor and Power Memorial. The only one to do it.
71 in a row they had.
41-40. East is back in the lead by a point. The West is the home team here. They're wearing the white. East in the traveling blue. Inside, Tito Horford. Hook shot. Boy, they love that at Houston.
Jim, you got to like that kid. I mean, he's just showing great inside play for a guy that's supposed to be a year or 2 away.
Stevenson down. Lane wants an argue, but it's going to be a blocking foul on Jerome Lane. That's the 5th team foul against the West. Nobody with more than 1, however, individually. And Stevenson, who's been very aggressive, will go to the line. Here's a guy who could play small forward or big guard, although I think Digger wants him at big guard at Notre Dame.
Well, Peter Gillen, the assistant coach of Notre Dame, is here, and they like his great attitude. You know, he developed a great deal in the Sunny Hill Basketball League along with Pooh Richardson, and Sunny Hill's here also very active in this game. He's done a great job in providing an opportunity for kids like Stevenson and Richardson to play during the summer.
Stevenson ties it up at 42. We're tied for the 4th time. The West ripped off early to a 14-2 lead, then led by as much as 19 before the quarter was over. But the East, sparked by Walker Lambiotte, came back. And we're going to see Lambiotte again in about 5 seconds. Horton on a driving hook, yes.
Horton's showing some good driving ability. I know he's got the ability to stick the 17, 18-foot jump shot. He's got that tremendous quick release as a shooter, something that Bernard King has. Look at his super.
Yeah, there goes the little, and there's Ferry, the smart player with a
score
hook.
Score that basket
by Horton. So give the basket to Ferry. There's the 6-minute mark in the second quarter. That means a change of lineups. And now back in for the East comes the team that includes Walker Lambiotte. And let's see what he'll do to spark another one. But we get a timeout here. Well, let's watch this play one more time by Danny Ferry. There's the goaltending. And we get a break with a score. All tied. The East 44. The West. They're now saying, folks, you're in Carlisle, the home of Jim Thorpe and Jeff Lebo. And there's the name we're missing here tonight.
You know, the conversation at our luncheon the other day was Jeff Lebo, and Morgan Wooten, the coach of the Mathis, said, and I respect Morgan so much in basketball, he said that Jeff Lebo is the greatest, and I quote, the greatest guard he has ever seen. And that is some kind of statement. In fact, some people say he's the reincarnation of Jerry West. And I'll tell you something, Mr. Dean Smith, you got yourself a dandy one.
Well, now with Kenny Smith coming back with Steve Hale, where's he going to start?
I'll tell you, he may not start, but he'll be on the floor when the game is on the line.
Michael Porter, there's the alley-oop on the inside to Irving Thomas, and he's fouled on the play. They tried the alley-oop fast break, but Roy Marble, who's as powerful as you can get, was there to break it up.
We take a look at Michael Porter trying to throw the lob inside. There's Irving Thomas, a powerful force, and we watch the foul on the inside.
There's only one team this year that beat Baltimore Dunbar, the #1 team in the country, and that was Irving Thomas's school, Carroll City High.
Thomas, a young man going out to Kentucky. There's an unbelievable player in Kentucky. There are two, in fact, a senior next year by the name of Felton Spencer, a 7'1" from out of Louisville.
Right.
It's going to be tough to get him away from Louisville. And a young man, remember this name, Rex Chapman from Owensboro, Kentucky.
Owensboro?
Hey, a home of Cliff Hagan. So you know where he's going to go?
Absolutely.
Everybody better forget it. He's going to Kentucky.
Oh, look at that block by Dozier. Here comes the East. They're coming back. Lambiotte is sailing.
Oh, Walker Lambiotte. Jimmy Valvano is dancing right now in front of his TV. He's saying, I love you, Walker.
Foul on the play there. Watch it, but Snyder got him.
Oh, does he have a nose to score? He's a mini version, as we said earlier, of John Hondu Havlicek.
Let's look at the scoring right now. The East, Danny Ferry leads with 10 points. Mark Stevenson has 9. And this guy, Walker Lambiotte, has 8. And he's going for 9 right now. Had a brother, went to Virginia, transferred, still at William & Mary. 9 points for Walker Lambiotte of Woodstock, Virginia, Central High School, coached by Jerry Wolver.
He might not have been the best player in Virginia. They got a kid there, a junior, he'll be a senior next year, J.R. Reed. Everyone's saying, along with Terry Mills of Romulus, Michigan, they'll be the 1-2 in America.
There he goes. That's Marble, and that's how he can operate. From Beecher High School in Flint, Michigan. I'll tell you, how about Kevin Madden out of Virginia? He was a pretty fair player who's injured here tonight and can't play. Thomas. Rebound out by Lowell Hamilton for the West.
Marble's an outstanding athlete. He's the kind of kid that's a runner and a jumper, and he'll fit in George's plans to run up and down that floor.
Inside left hand hook by Roth. I tell you, Don DeVoe has got something going now with that perimeter team he already has.
He'll be a diamond. He'll be a real diamond on the floor because he has good size and he knows how to play down in the boxes.
Porter way outside. Rebound Marble. Now the West can regain the lead. They were trailing by 5.
Did you see him bounce off the floor?
Oh, what a touch pass, and there was little Porter that broke up what would have been a beautifully.
This kid, some people were talking about him like Murphy. I have to see it to believe it because Murphy was something else.
Well, then evidently you didn't see Spud Webb play.
Oh, I saw Spud Webb play. He could rise with the best also. There's no question at 5, 6, or 7. The best 2 little guys I've ever seen, Jim, under 6 feet. Chet 40 was unbelievable at Columbia University. I'm dating myself.
Well, he does a great job on the truck now.
He's up there in years. And Calvin Murphy.
49 to 48. Oh, tripping and falling Lambiotte. They'll get the foul on Marble.
That's coming back where they're going to school and in the right situation. I think Lambiotte's in a perfect situation because they're searching for a 3-man, a wing player, a small forward out of North Carolina State, and he's the answer.
Some of them have called this guy a left-handed Rick Barry.
Ooh,
that's pretty good company, right?
Well, the one great thing that Barry did that a lot of people I don't think gave him credit for, except people on the in who really followed the game and his peers, he was a tremendous passer, and I don't believe Lambiotte can pass the ball a la Rick Barry.
11 points for Lambiotte. Tops for the East. Now tries Tito Horford in top scoring for the game at the moment. With 4 minutes to go in the first half. From Dallas, Texas. Inside to Roth. Tried a little shovel pass. Not much room there to make that pass. The East comes up with it. Michael Porter on the fast break. Up it off to Lambiotte. Has he got a hot hand? I tell you, 13 points.
Are we looking at Chris Mullen, maybe? I just reminded, maybe that's Chris Mullen in a uniform from St. John's.
There goes Roth. Oh, if he'd have shot it, but all right. A little hesitation by big Doug Roth, 6'11", 245 pounds. And as a freshman, he weighed 155. Did he grow a little bit down there in Knoxville? Maybe Don DeVoe was taking charge of his diet. 53-48.
They got that new facility they're building down in Knoxville. They're going to need all the athletes they can to fill that 26,000 seat facility.
Lambiotte inside to Irving Thomas.
Oh, score it.
Wow, that was not a smart block at all by Hamilton. Looks good, but just cost his team.
Lou Henson said, please, Lowell, as he's watching the action, don't do that against Indiana or Michigan when we're playing.
55-48 is the biggest lead for these, 7 points. Quin Snyder driving for the west, blocked on the inside by Pervis. Ellison followed by Lewis. Good aggressive play. Rebound out. Here comes Porter, 3-on-1. He's got Lambiotte on his left. There's the alley-oop for the lay-in. Beautifully executed by Dozier.
Terry Dozier is going to be an outstanding player. I know that Ray Jones is here from the University of South Carolina staff, and little Raymond Jones can't wait for Mr. Dozier to say, please play for us out at Columbia, South Carolina.
3 minutes to go in the first half. 57-48. Look for both these teams to hit 100. Marble on the drive. Rebound. Irving Thomas. Outlet to Lambiotte with an open court. Lambiotte.
Hey, Jim, do you believe this kid's for real?
15 points for Lambiotte, and he's played about 10 minutes.
He's a surf and turfer. That's no hamburger. He's a PTPer, a primetime performer.
Where'd you get all those, Kimbro?
Oh, Tony Kimbro. We haven't seen the real Tony Kimbro yet, Jim. He's been devastating during the workouts.
Dick, this is reminiscent of what Lambiotte is doing, at least in the first half, of what John Williams did a year ago in Los Angeles.
Yeah, John Williams in that game. I caught it on the TV tube. You and Bucky Waters did the game, and Williams just put on an awesome show. You know, he had a better career than people, a better year rather than people gave him credit for it down at LSU. The kid averaged about 14, 15 points a game. I think sometimes when you come in with that magical name, they expect 20, 25 out of you, 9, 10 rebounds a game.
Oh, what a pass by Lambiotte into Irving Thomas. Lambiotte turns passer, and he still stars.
He said, hey, Dick Vitale, you said I can't pass it like Rick Barry? What about this pass?
11-point lead. Driving in goes Lewis. Rebound off by Irving. No, by Ellison, and we'll get a jump ball, which means it'll be the West ball.
Pervis pass, he'd be a great one.
Kimbro off the mark. Rebound grabbed on the inside and knocked out of bounds by Lewis.
Now you talk about a team that will be back in the hunt next year. Louisville with Kimbro on the front line, getting Milt Wagner back and Kevin Walls. And if they sign Pervis Ellison along, I mean, Denny Crum's team's got to be in the top 10 in the nation preseason.
Yeah, remember, Billy Thompson, truly an All-American. Lambiotte. Lambiotte has gone wild. 17 points in the first half, 63-50. And the East, once trailing by 19, now leads by 13 with a minute and a half to go in the half.
He's going to make Jimmy Valvano look like a genius, and that's very hard to do.
Lewis tries to power up on the inside, and a blocking foul on Ellison. Number 2 on Pervis Ellison. They call him Bubba in the Ellison home down in Savannah. His young sister gave him that name when they were both very, very young. And they're here tonight. Mama Ellison and the young sister, now a very attractive teenager. And here's Tommy Lewis, best player on the West Coast, without a doubt, from California.
Next year, there'll be a great one on the West Coast. In fact, when I announce my high school All-American team next year, a kid by the name of Stevie Thompson will be in a backcourt with Ramil Robinson from out of Cambridge, Massachusetts, the same high school that produced Patrick Ewing. They would be my backcourt along with Felton Spencer in the middle at 7 feet. Also, Terry Mills and J.R. Reed.
Porter. Tip out here. Here comes Lowell. Hammonds stolen by Porter. Boy, the quick little guy made it pay off that time. Porter brings it back to the East. Dozier out of the corner.
That's where they definitely feel he can play. Facing the basket at 6'9", run the court like a gazelle, and shoot the facing jump shot. The Dunbar Super. Terry
Lowell Hamilton short. Rebound again comes to the East. Pervis Ellison's got it. 50 seconds to go in the half. 14-point lead with the East. The alley-oop lob inside. They tried to hit Irving Thomas, and he got jammed in there with a defensive player, and it was knocked out of bounds. Well, the athletic ability of these players, even when you see it, Dick, it's hard to believe, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. And kids are getting better and better every year. Already they're talking about kids like Mills and J.R. Reed next year, and they say those kids are just in another planet. It's amazing, Jim, how kids, it's because of the specialization, the summer camps that are available.
Say, Tommy Lewis just had that player on a bear hug in there for a personal foul, and that is team foul number 9.
Jim, you know, I was talking to you, and everybody likes to pick All-American high school teams, college teams. I think it creates conversation. If I had to pick my 5 best high school seniors for this year, I would have went with Lebo in the backcourt with Pooh Richardson, Danny Ferry up front with Tony Kimbro, and in also along the front line, Glenn Rice from out of Flint High School in Flint Northwestern in Michigan, who's not here right now. Did not get selected for this game, but he's certainly one of the top 10 in the nation.
Be a tough team to beat, Dick. No doubt about it. I don't think anyone believes for a moment that these are the only 25 All-American players in the country. There are a lot of them, but these are great ones.
Well, Dapper Dan had some great players. Sonny Vaccaro's Dapper Dan. Rod Strickland, who's not here. An outstanding point guard going out to the ball.
Porter got up and tipped that ball out.
All right, here's 2 on
Marble. Marble's got Lewis in his right. Marble fakes and goes in.
Roy Marble gets the score, but George Raveling would say, no, Roy, you got to throw it a little bounce pass to the open cutter. 2 on 1. Give the rock up.
67 to 53. Lead is back to 14 points. Here comes the East again. Porter, tip to the outside. Marble again, but the half ends before Marble can do his thing. But there's the end of the first half, and it's been a great contrast. First, the West racing away to a 19-point lead. The East came back to lead by 16, and they're up by 14.
And the first contestant, number 30, Jerome Lane. That, folks, is called a good start. There are 5 judges. Each stump will be judged with a high of 10. That is an auspicious start. 2 10s and 3 9s. The format simply is this. Each of the 3 contestants will take 1 from the top, 1 from the baseline, and then a wild card of their choosing. The second contestant, Roy Marble, number 21, 6'6", 190-pounder from Flint, Michigan. Roy Marble with his first attempt down the middle. 4-9, so a slight 2-point lead for the first contestant, Jerome Lane. And here is the favorite of the fans, of the little man, Michael Porter, 5'11", 175 pounds, from Dublin, Virginia, Pulaski County High School. 5 10s. We're talking 5 10s. Not only is he the leader on the scoreboard, he's number 1 in the hearts of these fans. Interesting, there were some big men in the competition that did not make the finals. Jerome Lane from the baseline. He will have another attempt. You are allowed 1 opportunity on a miss. After that, it's a 0, so the pressure's on. He delivers with his second chance along the baseline. 4 9s and an 8, and the 8 is booed. Second opportunity, Roy Marble. Headed for Iowa, the Big Ten. Will make George Raveling a very happy man. He cuffed it and stuffed it. 6'6", 190 pounds, 5 10s. The last contestant in the second round, the little man, Michael Porter. Notice he doesn't need much of a run. Michael Porter, the defending champion from the McDonald's Capital Classic a few weeks ago in Washington, D.C. Smiling, confident. He's got to have this one. Headed to Virginia Tech. I'm telling you, the rim, of course, is a collapsible rim. He almost hit himself on the head. Howard Garfinkel, the 5-star, gives it a 9. Sonny Hill of Philadelphia is in total disbelief. But Michael Porter is still a leader, and we are now in the last round, the third attempt. Jerome headed to the University of Pittsburgh in the Big East with his optional dunk. He slammed it. Didn't get much of a response from the crowd. 5 9s from the judges. Roy Marble, who averaged 25 points, 13 rebounds, and nearly 3 rejects a game. An amazing 67% from the floor. A lot of them like that. He threw them down. 4 9s and a 10. And I think we're looking at the defending champion here from the Capital Classic, the little fella. Moved from Washington, D.C. to Dublin, Virginia. He almost threw that one in. Well, that ball almost had ice on it. But believe it or not, he'll go up and get it above the square. He has it wrapped up if he just doesn't fold. Is there any doubt? A blowout. In case you're not believing it, we're going to have a second chance. Let's take a look. 5'11", Michael Porter, who not only put a 50-foot shot in at the buzzer for a win, he absolutely hammered that one, and you can see his shoe size. And we'll be right back with more action right after this.
Virginia with 17 points, 10 apiece for Irving Thomas of Carroll City, Florida, and Danny Ferry of Hyattsville, Maryland. And for the West, top scorer Tito Horford with 11 points. He's from Houston, Texas. 3 other players, including Rick Calloway, Ed Horton, and Lowell Hamilton, all with 8 apiece. Here we go. East with the ball. This little guy here, 5'11", Porter, won the slam dunk championship. Ellison works to the inside. Pervis Ellison.
Excellent 2-man play, Jim. Good post up by Ellison down on the low box, and a great entry by Porter to the baseline side.
That equals the biggest lead these teams had, 16 points. Kimbro had an off first half. Tommy Lewis starting the second half. In for the West team, they're wearing the white.
Most of the defense you see, Jim, is basically individual. You don't get that great team concept defensively.
Tommy Lewis gets trapped underneath the basket, tipped up by Kimbro once, twice. Kimbro's got it again, taken away by Thomas, and Kimbro steals it back for the West team. Here comes Kimbro, great pass to Lewis, body fake to draw the foul. Lewis will be on the line to shoot.
Lewis is thinking seriously of going to Syracuse or Nevada, Las Vegas, and both those teams, Jerry Tarkanian's team and Jimmy Boeheim's team, would have to be figured in the top 10 in America. In fact, if you talk about the Big East next year, Syracuse, with everyone returning, and Raphael Addison and Washington, would have to be the odds-on favorite, but don't count out Georgetown.
How about Pittsburgh?
Well,
they're getting better.
They're going to be the new kid on the block with Charlie Smith and also Demetrius Gore and Jerome Lane. They're going to love him in the Big East, but I'm still not going to count out John Thompson and Reggie Williams and Jackson and Wingate.
Well, it'd be folly to do so. You're absolutely right. Great players, great program, great coaching. 69-55. Here goes Lambiotte, hasn't missed yet. 8 for 8 by Lambiotte and 19 points. Is he going to be the star of stars? That's a big question.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Jim. When he plays on a collegiate level and they set double screens for him and get him shots, he's going to be awesome.
Nice move by Roth. They dump it inside to Kimbro. Kimbro, and tipped up by Marble.
Marble's a real what we call junk player. He'll get a lot of plays off the glass, good offensive rebounder. He's got the great legs. He's a bouncer. He's a guy that's a skywalker.
Play for Moses Lacey up in Flint, Michigan. Here's little Porter. Porter up with that 41-inch jump. Michael Porter, winner of the slam dunk this year among all these giants. He's only 5'11". The only player on this 25-man roster under 6 feet.
He electrified the crowd with that 360 spin. I know Michael Jordan and the boys watching on TV have to jump out of their seats when they watch this little guy rise to the sky.
Here goes Kimbro, blocked there inside by Ellison. 3-on-1, Porter on the right, got Lambiotte on his right. Here comes Lambiotte, reverse left, first miss, tipped in by Ellison, comes out. Rebound Roth. The first miss by Lambiotte was a layup. Kimbro comes down on the break, scores. A charging foul will be on Kimbro, and let's see if he gets the basket. Kimbro limping a little bit, gets the basket. That's only his 6th point. He came in here as one of the favorites to be the outstanding player of this game.
Well, that's because he was so impressive during all the early workouts. He's just been dominating people. As we look at Bill Green, what a career that guy's had at Marion High School. Hey, he coached George McGinnis. They were 31-0 out of George Washington High School in Indianapolis.
Now, how about Dave Colescott, Steve Downing, and Mike Giome? They weren't bad players either.
James Blackman also at Kentucky.
That's right. And Joe Price, remember him at Notre Dame? They all played for this guy. I don't think Giome did, but the others did. 61-73 right now the score. 8-point lead, or 12-point lead by the East. Lambiotte goes inside to Thomas. Nice fake by Thomas. Rebound put up by Ellison. Pervis Ellison with some good hustle.
Well, he's an active player. He's got the great legs, the long arms. We talked about him in the class of Sam Perkins. He's going to be an outstanding collegian as well. And these kids are all talented people.
Marble. Oh, what a block by Irving Thomas. Picked up by Lewis on the outside. Coming back for the West. Lewis charges. Personal foul number 2 against Tommy Lewis of the West. Now Quin Snyder checks in the lineup here for the West team, replacing Roy Marble.
Irving Thomas showed some great timing as we look at the young man right here from Florida. You know, you mentioned Bill Green. He started 2 southpaws on that team this year that went undefeated and won the state championship. And when those kids mature a little bit, what are they going to be like? A kid by the name of Edwards and Keys, supposed to be awesome.
Dozier following his own miss, can't hang on to it. Knocked out of bounds by Kimbro. 8 minutes, 40 seconds to go in quarter number 3. At the 6-minute mark, they'll change again, bringing in the other teams.
You know, I was talking about his sophomores. Another kid by the Lyndon Jones. All 3 is sophomores, and they'll be back for the next 2 years at Marion. He can run off another state championship.
Lambiotte again. That's 2 in a row he's missed after hitting 8 straight. And the foul will be on Pervis Ellison. That's the 4th foul on Ellison. But never fret, he does not go out with one more. They're allowed 6 apiece in this All-Star game. It's a good move. Come here to see these guys play.
Lambiotte showing that he's a little bit human, Jim. Missing a little open jump shot, but he was right there on the basket, just bounced out.
8.5 minutes to go. These teams have 2 more half minutes played this quarter. Kimbro off the mark again. He's had a bad shooting night. Here's Kimbro, comes back to follow again, misses. Kimbro again. Persistence doesn't pay off yet. Blocked in here. Here comes Porter, 3-on-1. Lambiotte, a walk by Porter. He got confused because instead of being in the middle, he was on the left side of a 3-on-1.
Jim, he's not really what you would call a comfortable point guard. He's not your pure quarterback who's going to really make the great play on a consistent basis. He's a little showtime. He's got great offensive skills and ability with the basketball, but he really doesn't know how to play the point, the legitimate point position, a la Tommy Amaker of Duke.
Well, a great score, over 2,000 points. Doug Roth feeds inside to Lewis. Thomas knocks it away and out of bounds for the East team. So the West will put it in play. 2 injured players for the West, too. Sean Elliott and Rodney Walker.
Sean Elliott's going to be a great one for Lute Olson. He's a kid that's a swing man. He's got great scoring ability and passing ability as well.
Boy, look at that quick turning hook inside by big Doug Roth. And the 6'11" fellow scores.
He's a space eater. He takes all kinds of space on the inside and knows what to do with it when the ball comes into the box.
He's going to help those volunteers, the SEC. Here goes Porter, one-on-one. Rebound. Ellison follows from the outside. Up goes Irving. Thomas stolen by Kimbro. Taken right back by Thomas to score, and he's fouled. Boy, Thomas has been very aggressive. I'm reminded of 2 years ago when 2 fellows headed for Kentucky showed this kind of aggressive play, James Blackman and Winston Bennett, and they turned the game around for their team.
You know, you talk about James Blackman, who played for Coach Bill Green, a kid with a world of talent, a very diversified kind of athlete, just has not been able to become the kind of performer at Kentucky that everyone expected. And there's some talk, Jim, that he may transfer. His coach, Bill Green, would like him to basically stay there and give a shot to Eddie Sutton.
Dick, here's a guy that was recruited by Joe B. Hall. Now he's going to go play for Eddie Sutton. How about that when one guy recruits you and then leaves the job?
I really think that if a kid signs early during the early signing date and a coach leaves, I don't believe that that kid should be obligated to that institution.
Here comes Lambiotte, 4-on-1. Lambiotte's going to take it.
Lambiotte says, hey, heck, I'm not going to give up the ball. This is an all-star game. I'm taking it right to the goal.
Back now, we'll start the fourth quarter. Now it's up to the coaches. They can use any combination of players they want. Here's the West team. They're trailing by 20 points. They're trying to get back in there. They got Marble and Quin in the back court. Hamilton's in the front court. Up in the middle is Doug Roth. So that's the lineup they have on the floor along with Roy Marble. Taken away by Dozier. Outlet pass stolen by Marble. Backfield away for the white uniform West team. Inside to Lewis. And he scores.
Excellent pass by Marble. He gives the look away pass. Looks one way and finds the open man with the diagonal look inside.
98-80. We're just starting the fourth quarter, and the East can break in the 100 points right here in any minute. They need 2. One thing you won't see any stalling in this game. Dozier, nice pump fake. Ripped off the rebound by Roy Marble. Marble feeds it off to Lowell Hamilton. Hamilton feeds on it to Marble, and it's stolen away by Dozier. 1 pass, 2 minutes. The West got to take advantage of every possession. There's Porter to send the score into the 100-point margin. He draws the foul on the play.
Jim, he's a great open court player. When he gets in the open court, he has that great bounce off the floor. He really has that tremendous strong driving ability, and he can stick the jump shot from 17 feet as well.
100-80 right now, the East team. These teams have averaged over the 8 years, each of them scoring better than 100 points a game. This could be a 3-pointer here for the shortest player on the team, Michael Porter. Instead, it's still a 20-point lead. Well, I remember 2 years ago, the West was down about 20 points or more. They came back to win. Can they duplicate that? Marble just dribbles it off his foot and out of bounds. Good play by Lambiotte.
Marble doesn't look comfortable in the backcourt. I think he's more or less a wing player. Has to play with a true point guard rather than have the role of carrying the basketball and bringing it up the floor. He's got to be able to play with a legitimate point guard and run the court and use his great legs in transition.
Well, there's young Mo out there. He can play that point guard for Georgia.
Well, they got a great freshman they're bringing in by the name of B.J. Armstrong
from Michigan,
from Brother Rice High School.
Porter just made a fine defensive play, denying the passing lane to Quin Snyder on that fast break, and Hamilton filling the left lane. I wish Porter's going to help Virginia Tech. No doubt about it.
I wish you could have got a chance to see Glenn Rice play, because you talk about a flat-out great shooter. He's probably the premier shooter in the nation.
Boy, did Irving Thomas reject that try there by Tommy Lewis. Hello, Tommy Lewis.
I wish we also could have seen Jeff Lebo tonight, because we've heard so many adjectives to describe his ability. I caught him on tape, Jim, and he's awesome. What a release, and just a solid player.
Well, he's here but can't play. Surgery on his finger. A big guy, Roth, goes outside to hit one for Tennessee. That's where he's going.
Doug Roth down at Tennessee is going to be a major, major factor, believe me, for Don DeVoe.
Not only can he score, he's a great passer, Dick, so he's going to fit in the team contest. Porter at the other end. And who's going to get the ball? The East team. 10 minutes to go on this one, and if the West is going to make a move, it has to start fairly soon. They're down by 18 points. Inside, Roth collides with Dozier. That'll be personal number 2 on Doug Roth. And we'll get another look here at Terry Dozier, perhaps. Or was he shooting? Was that an alley-oop? No, it's going to be out of bounds to the West team, or the East team.
You know, we mentioned great recruiting classes. Villanova, Rolly Massimino's got a little dynamite performer, a kid that played in the same backcourt with David Rivers. Kenny Wilson, 5'9". He will be electricity out in Philadelphia. I wonder if Rolly's come down yet from playing up in the sky after winning that national championship.
Hey, I don't think Rolly will ever come back. Not back down. He'll come back, but not down. Snyder gets his 3rd foul.
Who wouldn't have picked? I mean, what idiot would have picked Georgetown to beat Villanova? I can't believe it. This guy on ESPN came out and said it would be an M&M or a mismatch. It's like comparing Christy Brinkley to Joan Rivers. The guy doesn't know what he's talking about. What was that guy's name?
Well, it's some Italian. They kept it in the family. But the thing impressed me wasn't so much, and I watched the game of Georgetown. When you think about it, Dick, the impressive thing about Villanova is the fact that they won 6 straight games against great teams. Well, 6 in a row.
You know, beating Dayton and Dayton wasn't an easy task, and also Michigan in the second game, and then beating North Carolina and Maryland and Memphis State. Massimino's club showed shot selection, discipline, plus defense equaled winning the gold trophy.
Here's Marble down, picked up by Dozier. Back the other way for the East. They're leading by 18 points. Lambiotte brings her in there, and this time he's greeted with quite a reception committee, and he's going to go to the line if he can get up.
Dozier hugs him. He says, hey, I'm really proud of the way you're taking the ball to the basket, Walker. The thing I like about him, he's not afraid to go to the goal. Look at this. He takes it right up at him. He says, I'm bringing it right down to you big fellas. Marble knocks him to the deck. Lambiotte looks at himself and now goes to the line and says, hey, count it. It's automatic.
Well, that's
thank you, Walker. Thank you.
He's missed 2 in a row.
I really appreciate it, Walker. I'm talking about what a star you are, and you're making me look really super.
But he could be the key to a revisit to the Final Four for Jim Valvano and the Wolf Pack. Jerry Walder's gift to North Carolina State. Another miss. Snyder's going to get it here for the West team. Snyder gliding hard, and Hamilton follows from the outside and draws the foul. No one has given up an easy slam dunk tonight. Boy, when you go in there, they're waiting for you.
Hamilton's just an explosive leaper. He just bounces off the floor, Jim. He's got great legs. I don't know what his vertical jump is, but it's got to be very impressive.
Very explosive player. Lowell Hamilton headed for Illinois.
They won 26 games last year, and a lot of people said, well, it was a down year because they had that tremendous year prior when they won 26 and lost 5. And, you know, really, Douglas and Ephraim Winters did not have great seasons, and yet they still win 26 games. That shows you how impressive that team really is.
Well, I think they missed Richardson's quickness in Illinois, for one thing.
Well, they lost Montgomery also.
Even though Altenberger was injured, he wasn't at full strength. That hurts him a lot.
Kenny Norman had a great finish, but you still lost an experienced player. Look at Dozier shoot that jumper.
Dozier from the perimeter gets him off that 100-point mark. They've been stuck there for a little bit. 102-83. 19-point lead with these now with 9 minutes and 14 seconds to go. Snyder. Oh, does Snyder have... He is sneaky quick, isn't he, Dick?
Well, he's got a good front change, good creative ability. He has to work a little bit more on his perimeter shot. And right now, I really believe at Duke, he'll be a complimentary player, Jim, because they have such an experienced tandem with Johnny Dawkins, who will probably be everybody's first-team All-American, and Tommy Amica, one of the premier point guards. And also the kid Strickland came on strong as the number 3 guard as a scorer.
Here's a different combination in for the West team. They've come in with both Horford and Kimbro on the lineup at the same time. Lambiotte driving and is fouled on the play, and he just wiped out our cameraman in the end zone. But Lambiotte, who's headed for all-star honors, I believe, in this game, gets his 23rd.
Howard Garfinkel, the guru of basketball, said you can guarantee that he will be on the floor 6-7 times a game. I mean, there's no hesitation. He smells the goal, Jim. I mean, he takes it right to the cameraman.
Woo, are we insured down there? I hope. Watch this.
Uh-oh, look at that angle. I mean, a left-hander just goes flying to the goal. Little acrobatic time. Bingo! Lays a block on him. Uh-oh. That's an expensive piece of machinery.
Boy, Lambiotte going for a 3-point play. He's trying to break out of a little drought here on the line, though. He's missed his last 3 in a row.
It's hard to believe because he's got such a great release, good touch, good follow-through.
Scored 51 points in one game in high school. There he goes. Good extension, 24 points for Lambiotte. 105-83 East. A remarkable comeback for the East. Given up for dead midway through the first quarter.
Well, the key for North Carolina State's going to be the return of Chris Washburn if he returns to form.
Here comes Thomas for the jam.
Everybody loves the slam dunk.
Well, that guy's skilled about every aspect of the game out of Carroll City, Florida. What a great year they had in Miami. 38 wins, only 1 loss under Ernie Bell. 107-83. Eastbound steal by Thomas again. Irving Thomas at the other end with another spectacular play.
Well, hit them a
Dozier, look out. Boy, do they play above the rim, these guys like Horford and Calloway, and the foul will be on Pervis Ellison. That is 5, and 1 more, and he's gone.
You know, you mentioned Irving Thomas, and you look at that strong body and that good inside power game that he possesses. He'll be a great asset to Kenny Skywalker. And when you talk about All-American teams next year, I think you got to talk about Walker at that number 3 slot. You got to go either Walker, Bias, or Raphael Addison of Syracuse.
Tito Horford surrounded. Lambiotte got a hand on it. Kimbro comes back. He needs to get in the groove. Hasn't yet. Rebound taken away by Calloway. Boy, is that guy play some defense. Rick Calloway of Cincinnati Withrow.
He's got great anticipation ability on the floor as well. Thomas is down on the deck right now. You know, we mentioned 3 great number 3 players, what I call small forwards. We're going to get a telegram from out of Auburn. They got a fair one by the name of Chuck Person who can play.
He's not a fair one. He's a great one, Dick.
He's a superstar.
How about the other guy, Morris, huh? They've got a great pair down there on the front line. Well, that's an injury by Irving Thomas, the first one they have of the game, although this week has been fraught with injury. Sitting on the sideline, not even able to play. Jeff Lebo, Kevin Madden, Rodney Walker, Sean Elliott, all selected to this 25-man All-America squad. Unfortunate injury. So we got an injury here with 8 minutes to go in the game. Let's take a look at it.
Right now we see there's the ball being taken strong to the basket by Calloway. We look at the contact on the inside. We're looking for number 30. It looks like he trips coming back on defense. I didn't get the whole play, Jim. I missed it.
All right, it's 107-85. And we're going to go to timeout here. 8 minutes to go in the game, and the East riding along with a 22-point win.
We're talking about kids that'll be seniors next year. J.R. Reed, certainly a great player from out of Virginia. Terry Mills can do it all. His uncle's John Long of the Detroit Pistons, and everyone in America wants Mills and Reed. And Belton Spencer, 7-1 from out of Louisville, and I know Denny Crum will be living there. Backcourt, Stevie Thompson, Crenshaw High School, the high school that produced John Williams. I'm sure UCLA will be banging on his door. And Ramil Robinson, is he a lock, you think, for Georgetown? That's where Patrick Ewing played. Some other great ones, Jim. Chris Brooks is a great player from out of the Bronx, New York. Also a kid by the name of Michael Christian from out of Denver, Colorado. And we got Rex Chapman, also an outstanding one from Owensboro, Kentucky.
Here's the West now trying to get back in the game. Calloway shot off the mark. Out of there is Michael Porter. 3-on-1 coming down on Horton. Left side. Lambiotte feeds to Ellison. Nice teamwork.
Great pass by Lambiotte, but Porter could have made the play with a good bounce pass. If he looked one way, like I said earlier, Jim, he's not really a comfortable point guard. He knows how to score. He's a finisher.
Lambiotte's already tied for the 3rd highest performance in the series of games. Kimbro is at an off night shooting, gets his 10th point.
I'll tell you what, he can have all the off nights he wants in these all-star games. He will be a bona fide standout on a collegiate level.
Got a high school mate, Williams, going to Louisville with him from Seneca High School. Always been a hotbed for great play, great teams. Danny Ferry coming out in backcourt. Porter fakes. They respect Porter's jumping ability, so when he gives you a head fake, you better get in the air. Just banged that off a defensive player. In 1981, Adrian Brandt scored 24 points. Tonight, Walker Lambiotte has 24 with 7 minutes to go. Way outside Porter. They love this little guy from Virginia.
What a multi-dimensional athlete. I mean, he just demonstrated range from about 21 feet. He's a real slashing kind of player. Can take the ball to the goal with authority, and he can combine it with the long-range jumper. That's a complete offensive player.
Anyway, only 2 players have scored more than 24. John Williams last year, Michael Jordan in 1981 with 30. Kimbro on the outside, partially blocked. Rebound, Pervis. Ellison gets the tap over from Dozier. Look at big Ellison break it down, gets it to Porter. Oh, what a pass to Lambiotte. Feeds it off to Ellison, just like clockwork.
Ellison, just like Sam Perkins, sticks that jumper the long 6'9½". Hey, if he commits to Louisville with Kimbro, I keep saying Kimbro, it's going to be awesome.
Hartford draws the foul as he goes underneath, tries to put it up over his shoulder, and he'll go to the line for 2. Personal foul was against Terry Dozier.
Jim, I tell you, you run out of adjectives watching the kind of athletes we're watching here. We use them all. Awesome, superstar. I mean, it's amazing. There's really no team concept in an all-star game. It's really an individual performance where all the athletes let it all hang. And there's Bill Green. He's saying, hey, we have to play man-to-man. I can't use my typical matchup defense. My matchup that won the state championship, that won the national championship for Mr. Massimino.
Here's Tito Horford. His real name is Alfredo, from Dominican Republic. Only started playing 3 years ago, and he's working out a lot with Olajuwon. That's going to help him.
He was really involved in quite a controversy. There was some talk that he would head for LSU, Jim, but now it's all seemed to be clear that he will play with Houston University.
All right, 6 minutes to go. The clock is stopped here in Dallas, and it's yet there's a lot of time to go. 6 minutes right now. The East lead to get by 24 points, the biggest win ever, 25 last year. When the West won it, led by John Williams. Here's the East now, pressure in backcourt by Lane, and a little over exuberant. That'll be a personal foul number 3 on Jerome Lane, and that's team foul number 9. So, no, number 10. So we're shooting the 1-and-1.
You know, Pittsburgh signed several other good players. Mike Goodson, a point guard from out of Elizabeth, New Jersey, and Rico Cooper, a real power 6'9" JC player from Allegheny Junior College, to go with Jerome Lane. And you add Charles Smith, Demetrius Gore, and a bunch of other guys returning. You see why they're going to be contenders for the Big East Championship.
What do you think, Dick? You got Georgetown there, Syracuse. How far can Pittsburgh get up there?
I think they can definitely get into the first division. Never count out Louis Cornacecca and St. John's. He'll have a good cast.
Marble.
Roy Marble, a little showtime. A riser from out of Flint, Michigan.
113 to 91.
The great high school basketball played this year in Flint, Michigan. I'm prejudiced naturally since I'm from the Motor City area.
Well, there's always been a lot of great players out of Flint. The Magic Man, huh?
No, he's from out of
That's
Lansing.
right. You're right. Here goes Stevenson.
Watch, Stevenson's getting a lot of PT, a lot of playing time for Notre Dame. I'll guarantee you that.
24-point lead for the East. 5 minutes to go. East gave up some inches, but had a lot more speed, quickness. Rebound by Hammonds, and here comes Pooh Richardson on the fast break. Nice bounce pass to Marble. Right back to Richardson for the layup inside, and he's going to get his own rebound.
Richardson knows how to make the pass. He really knows when to give the ball up. Excellent bounce passer.
Richardson, and there is Ferry to keep it alive for the East team, and Marble battling with Ferry. There's going to be a foul on Ferry, or does he just go out of bounds for one?
These kids play with
no foul.
Jim, they're playing with so much pride right now. They want to prove that they're not just America's guests and that they're overrated superstars, because so many times kids become what we call media supers and really do not live up to their great billing.
Horford on the follow, loses it out of bounds. It'll be the East ball, and they're way ahead, 115 to 91 with 4:33 to go.
Tito Horford, I know they'd love him here in Dallas. I know Dick Motta would love to put him right in the middle with his people that he can surround him with, Mark Aguirre and Jay Vincent and Sam Perkins, because they don't really have a center.
Well, Guy Lewis going to get him for 4 years first. Here's a tip up inside by Hammonds, and pulled down by Ed Horton.
Tito with a shot.
Look at that. The other guy, they got a 3 on nobody here, and Ferry's going to try him.
Oh, Ferry.
He missed him, but Richardson fouled.
His father's looking down at him and said, Danny, make the routine layup like your Papa Bob taught you. See, he got caught up in all the spirit. Look at Bill Green. He said, I can't stand being on the losing side.
26-point lead. Nobody's ever won this game by 26 points. The East is dominating. Comes the West, and Horton on a nice drive. 12 points for Ed Horton from Springfield, Illinois.
You know, Iowa also gets next year Brad Lohaus, who sat out this year, a 7-footer, and they have Al Lorenzen returning as well, and Jerry Wright. So they're going to be a tough basketball team.
Sir Jamalot Wright.
On paper right now, you have to look in the Big Ten as a 1-2 showdown between Michigan and Illinois, giving the edge to Michigan.
Look at Ferry work to the inside, chase down his own rebound. Ferry's going to take the little baseline jump shot, and Stevenson will follow for the East. And the West look like they're standing around it.
Sloppy basketball, really, Jim. It's so individual right now. There's really no team concept at all on the floor.
Richardson said, come on, let's set it up here. Try to work in for a good shot. Into Hammonds, deflected, and now they break it down to Marble.
Oh, yes. He's a magic guy. He can really fly. A little bit of Michael Jordan in him, a little showtime, but let's not get carried away. There's only one Michael J.
117 to 93, the East leading now with 2.5 minutes to go. The only question seems to be, will they set a record margin here in winning this game after losing the last 2 in a row, last 3 in a row? Jerome Richardson, and now Bucknall has it batted away from him and out of bounds by Horton. Going to be the East ball. In come 4 new substitutes for the West and 1 for the East. And is Michael Porter replacing Perry, and Kirshner is coming in with quickness and sacrificing some size, while Bill Green brings in some scoring punch he hopes for the West, including Kimbro.
Jim, I love the kind of screens that Danny Ferry sets. They're from the old school. He's really a bone crusher when he comes up and lays that body on you.
I think we'll see Lambiotte in here before it's over again. There goes Pooh Richardson.
Paulie Pavilion better get ready for some excitement with this little guy in control of the basketball.
119-93 with 2 minutes to go. Hamilton tries to go to Jones, and it's deflected out of bounds. And back in comes Walker Lambiotte, who has set the scoring pace here tonight with 24 points. There he is, 6'6", solidly built from Woodstock, Virginia Central High School, headed for the Wolfpack of North Carolina State. And they may be headed back to the Final Four before he leaves. Steal by Richardson. Well, you notice the ball is still inside. They go to Hammonds. What a move.
We really haven't seen a lot of Tommy Hammonds, but that was a little bit of what's excited Bobby Cremins.
Well, here's a drive by Indiana Jones, and he's really hammered in there by Hammonds.
You know, we saw Hammonds take that ball to the basket with his left hand, Jim. And you take a look at Georgia Tech's starting lineup as we watch it. Indiana Jones fly into the basket, and Hammond says, no, get out of here, Kip Jones.
Now you're going to say that Porter's the guy that fouled him.
You know, you talk about Georgia Tech. The backcourt, you look at a combo of Mark Price and Dalrymple. It's probably one of the premier backcourts in the nation. Price, to me, is flat out the best guard coming back in the country.
You got Burrell at the other forward.
Yeah, you talk about John Sally in the lane. He'll be a top 10 selection in the NBA draft at 7 feet. So you're looking at a solid basketball team.
That was deflected out of bounds for the West, so still be the East ball. He's got 2 point guards in there now, and Pooh Richardson and Michael Porter. So, well, Kirshner's going with his quickness here and try to protect this lead.
Porter can play the off guard, and Richardson is a true point guard. He is a legitimate quarterback on the floor.
Here goes Richardson down the middle, feeds it off inside, and there's Bucknall, and he walks.
If there's a better point guard in America, I'd like to see him than Richardson. I'll tell you.
How about Lebo? Well, he put Steve Lebo in there.
Well, Jeff Lebo, I put him as a big guard, Jim. I put him as a shooting guard rather than a true point guard.
Jones, Hammond snatches off a rebound. Here we go with Porter. He's way ahead now, 1:15 to go, and Porter takes it right in there, gets his own rebound. The little guy's 5'11". Love him at Blacksburg, won't they? And he draws the foul.
Well, he's going to have them rocking and rolling up there. Charlie Moyer is going to really have showtime when he gets the ball and goes up in transition along with Del Curry. I'll tell you, you talk about NBA shooters. Del Curry, who'll be his running mate out at Virginia Tech, certainly can shoot the basketball with the best of them.
And you got Beecher inside, so that's becoming a veteran team there now.
You know, you talk about Richardson and you talk about Lebo. Jeff Lebo, how good really is he? Let me just say this. I respect Morgan Wooten, as we said a little bit earlier, Jim, and I was just awed to listen to the adjectives, the way he described Mr. Lebo. And should we tell him who Mr. Wooten feels will win the national championship next year?
Georgetown.
No, he came out with North Carolina.
All right.
He said Dean.
122-96. Here comes Snyder. Look at that block by Tommy Hammonds. Hammonds rejects. And the clock stops with 59 seconds to go.
You know, UCLA opens up with North Carolina next year. They're hoping to open in that new facility down in Chapel Hill. And that'll be a matchup, Lebo against Mr. Richardson.
When Snyder works inside, rebound comes right back to Indiana Jones, and he is blocked in there by Ellison. And Richardson's got it down to Dozier for the dunk.
Oh, Terry Dozier. Bill Foster's going to love him. We don't know which Bill Foster, South Carolina or Miami.
124-96, 38 seconds to go. Long one by Kimbro, and he finds the range for his 12th point. 30 seconds to go. Nice fake in there by Dozier, and goaltending.
Score to Dozier. You got to like Dozier, the way he runs up and down the court, Jim.
I think it's going to be a record by margin here, 126-98. No one's won this game by 28 points, or 26 for that matter. And now here comes Lambiotte, and he can become the #3 scorer of all time if he gets a point. They give it to Richardson.
Hey, where's the half-court offense they were working on yesterday, the 1-4 set? I haven't seen that offense since the first minute.
That was designed to start the game, Dick, and then you're on your own.
It's been up and down, away we go.
128-98, a 30-point margin. The previous high margin was last year when the West won by 25. Here's